welcome back to the show. Our next guest is Grant Tapper, Business Development Associate for Tower Investments and founder of KobraKicks. Grant, welcome to the show, man.
Pleasure to be here, Mike.
So glad to have you here. I know you're a busy young man doing things big time over there at the property, Showboat Hotel Resort on the Atlantic City Boardwalk. Before we get into the meat and potatoes, my friend, tell us a little bit about Grant Tapper and your role with Tower.
Yeah, so I'm a business development associate there at the property. I've been with the company for roughly a year now, and I do a little bit of everything, whether it's marketing, sales, IT, finance, you name it. I'm like a Swiss Army knife. I get it done.
That's what it's all about. And listen, folks, he definitely does get it done. This guy's on the radio show weekly. He's been doing great things. We work together at the property Showboat, and it's a pleasure to work with you. And we're going to talk a little bit about what we have here at the students as well at Stockton University. So listen, we're talking about Showboat Hotel Resort. Talk to us a little bit about what's going on there, the redevelopment of the rooms and what's happening at that property.
Yeah, I mean, the whole Bourbon Tower is getting fully renovated along with the entirety of the property. We're doing big things, whether it's the water park, building the world's largest arcade, and much more to come.
And I also hear that there's a little secret that I don't know if you could divulge with us a little bit when it comes to food and beverage.
Yeah, so we are having some new food and beverage outlets coming to the Showboat. Not too much I can say just yet, but it's really something you got to come check out for yourself.
And the feedback. So the Showboat, prior, a casino hotel. Many years I had some family members that worked there. I used to love going there as well. And again, it's one of my favorite places to go on the entire Atlantic City Boardwalk, anywhere in South Jersey. You know, it's one of those things, Grant, now that we've heard for so many years about family friendly. You know, also adults can have a great time. Touch on that a little bit.
Yes, I mean, I'll tell you, the one thing I really love about the Showboat is getting to come downstairs and see how it's developing into such a family fun entertainment resort. It's not just a hotel, it's not a casino, it's trying to bring back Atlantic City to what it used to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, the world's playground, and when we talk about playground, Lucky Snake Arcade. Talk to us. One of the biggest in the country, am I right, if not world?
You are correct. So right now we're the largest on the East Coast, but once we get in this newest order, we're going to be the world's largest arcade in the entire world. It's going to be astounding.
And one thing with the arcade as well, with the raceway, and we'll tie this both in there, always new game alerts. I mean, there's everything there from old school, like I used to enjoy, Pac-Man and Space Invaders and whatnot, and some of the new games I also love too. Talk to us about that.
I mean, we have anything from the retro games to a whole pinball gallery, but my favorite section out of everything is the cut to win section. This is where we have games where you have to cut the string, and if you cut the string, all you get to do is win the world's coolest prizes. We're talking about Gucci, Louis Vuitton, the hottest sneakers on the market. You name it, we most likely have it.
It's amazing, again, when you say those type games and cut to win. I was there, and I was watching someone play, and then all of a sudden, cut it, they're walking out with this Gucci bag, and it's like, listen, and there's the lady was screaming like, you know, we got to get this out of here. Just go put it in the room. And I'm like, it was so exciting. Now, folks, sometimes they think that, well, that's not the real deal. No, it is 100% the real deal. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, I'll tell you. So just yesterday, I'm not even kidding, I saw a man walk up to the machine, his first try, cut the string, and then within 10 minutes, went to another machine and won a Louis Vuitton backpack. He was freaking out. He's like, I've never owned anything like this in my life. I don't even know what to do with it. I was like, yeah, it's, you know, because we do it like no other. We really want to be the most unique, the best. We want to grow it into something that no one else has done.
And listen, I'm going to go off script here too a little bit, Grant. The staff that you have out there on the floor, whether it's the raceway, the arcade, or the water park, which we'll get into. Talk about your staff for a minute too, please.
I mean, our staffing is everything.
Yeah.
Truly. I mean, whether it's our director from the water park, Ryan Flynn, or our director for the arcade, Mike Rush. I mean, the work that they put into the property is astounding, and what they do for us is what keeps everything running.
The environment at that racetrack too. Listen, you got to put a helmet on, you go through a little course. Folks, it is definitely safe, but also a bit thrilling and fun and whatnot.
Exhilarating.
At the cars too. I mean, about $10,000 a piece, is that what I heard? I know I'm not supposed to talk money there, but that's what they call it. They come from Italy as well.
Directly from Italy. Yeah. And right now we have them set to 25 miles an hour, but don't get me wrong, those can reach speeds of 45 miles an hour. And the only way you can ever get that is once you keep coming back. We now have a tracker that tracks how many times you've been to the raceway, so we know how experienced of a driver you are. So the more you keep coming back, the more you can keep increasing your speed.
And one of the beautiful things, again, that I'd like to touch on that's kind of behind the scenes and folks don't realize, you know, mechanics. You got folks on there that it's not like you show up to the Lucky Snake Arcade or the raceway and everything or half the vehicles are parked to the side. You have a staff on site doing that job completely all day long.
100%.
Yeah, see, and that what separates you from a lot. I mean, the staff out there, I don't know how the heck you guys do it as far as the employment and whatnot and jobs, and we're going to talk about that as well. Island Water Park. Now, listen, this is one of those projects that we've heard here, again, in Atlantic City for decades. Going to be here, going to be there, the former Atlantic Club, wherever it may be. Bart Blatstein and team, Connor Price, Morgan, and all the others, they did a pivot. There was going to be some talk of the casino, and all good and well. But listen, that water park, watching that, the shovels go in. Just recently was watching a video back in the day on my Facebook page popped, and to see what it is now, to be able to walk through that thing with a hard hat when it was getting halfway, now being able to see, and the throng of people that go into that place. How many slides? Talk to us about that. 125 million plus?
Yeah, so all in all, we're looking at a 120,000 square foot water park, all indoor. So it's year round, 85 degrees. So it's like going to Tulum. It's amazing. You can't beat it. One thing though that people may not know is it actually took 8 years worth of licensing to get that water park rolling. So it's not an overnight project. That was a long-term, almost a decade going into that water park.
Talk to us about that, not to put you on the spot. Now, what does that mean a little bit to the average Joe like I?
Yeah, I mean, getting the permitting, the licensing, the requirements from the city, everything that entailed within the actual licensing process, it was quite difficult to get it from the city.
And when you're talking about where it's positioned, on the beach, or close to the beach, I should say, I mean, the green acres and all that other stuff comes into effect. It's not an easy process. So again, talk to us about the park itself, the slides, the number of them, the potential for more out there in the, I like to call sandlot. But talk to us about that though, because folks don't realize that the amount of different slides, food options and whatnot.
Yeah, so right now we have roughly 12 slides. We have a kids section called the Kids Cove. We have a slide island for that 7 to 12 range, but then once you get on to that 13 plus to, you know, whether you're 25, you can go down the Barracuda Blaster, the Electric Eel, the Sonic Serpent, or if you want, you can go down the Tidal Racers where you can actually race your friend and see who can get the faster time.
And there it is too. Again, events. Folks can go in there and have birthday parties or any type of parties. Talk about that.
You name it, we've done it. Whether it's in the Paradise Island section where, you know, you're having 500 person to 1,500 person event where you're gonna have, you know, whether it's a Halloween party or just a get together with maybe like FanDuel where they wanna rent out the space and enjoy the entirety of the LED aroma. When it goes in at night, oh my God, it's just breathtaking. You can't beat it.
Listen, there's no place like it. Again, I'm not just saying in Atlantic City. I've been to water parks throughout my years, especially with my daughter Ava back in the day. It is amazing. And again, like you said, at night, it just sparkles like unbelievable. The adult section as well. I mean, you may have touched on it, but talk to us about that too. There's a spot, you know, kids can go play with big sister or aunt and uncle, whatnot, a section, or come with my lady. Talk about that.
Yeah, so Paradise Island, it's a 21 plus centric zone where, you know, the parents, they can just relax, grab a drink, go to their cabana, and just enjoy while all the kids are running around, going on the slides, and having an exhilarating time. Not to mention, if you're in the normal side of the park, we have an 80,000 square foot lazy river where you can just sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Listen, it's awesome. Been there, whether it was the all-white party, they had the ribbon cutting, as well as Deshaun Jackson, the Eagles, former Eagles, walking around the place. It's a place that's constantly buzzing. And I encourage you folks, reach out to Island Water Park, Grand Tapper, if you want to throw a party, and very reasonable as well. It's just a place to be. There's nothing like it. And then you got the boardwalk right there in the beach.
If there's one thing, though, that I have to mention about the water park that is my personal favorite, it's the Flow Rider.
There you go, yes.
This is a surf-like simulation where people can actually learn how to ride a surfboard, so to say, but it's all asymmetric, where you're learning on a wave simulation rather than the actual waves out in the ocean.
And there's an instructor there as well. You're going to have some lessons and whatnot. Now, one of my favorite things here, KobraKicks. What is all that about?
Oh my God, so let me tell you, KobraKicks is coming to the Showboat Hotel, Atlantic City. I don't have a grand opening date just yet, but we're gonna be opening up our first sneaker and streetwear retail location inside the Showboat, where it's gonna have all your favorite designer kicks, whether it's Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Air Jordans. We're gonna have it all.
It's now here it is. One thing I love is kicks. I love sneaks, and that has always been something of my passions. A closet full of them. My fiance goes nuts with them when she's like, "We get rid of some of this stuff." Again, it's all going to be right there. This is retail going to be happening in Showboat Hotel Resort.
Inside the Showboat Hotel. So I mean, whether you're looking at your normal everyday New Balance or Asics. We're gonna have it all. We're gonna have something for everybody. We're gonna have a brand new section. We're gonna even have used inventory too for the people that wanna have an affordable sneaker. Whether you wanna come into the shop and spend $80 or you spend $1,000, you'll be able to do either.
Love it. Listen, that's one of the things, again, whether it's kids, adults, or whatnot, it's been a hot thing for many years, and being able to say that it's in Showboat Hotel Resort coming soon is a plus and a super addition. Again, we got about a minute, Grant, and I know you touched about it on the beginning of the interview. Talk about your relationship. I mentioned Bart and Connor and the others. These guys and gals who've come and they've stayed and stuck it out. I remember a short time ago, I would ride my bike or take a walk down that end of the boardwalk, and it was quiet. It was very quiet before the Hard Rock Open and Revel, which was now Ocean Casino, and Steel Pier was doing their thing. Resorts were doing, but Showboat was always near and dear. And what you did, when I say you, Bart and team, Tower Investments, staying there. Talk about that revitalization a little bit and what that team to work with each day is like.
It's amazing. Learning from these guys, it's really unique. Their set of skills that they have really differs them from anyone else in the community. But the one thing I really have to touch upon is how they're seeing what we call diamond in the rough. They took what was an old casino, undeveloped. It was bought by Stockton University, and after finding out that Stockton couldn't use it for housing, bought it from Stockton, and what we did from there was develop it into the property we see today, a family fun entertainment resort.
Love it. Listen, amount of thanks again to Grant Tapper, Business Development Associate for Tower Investments and the founder of KobraKicks. This is the guy right here. Thanks for being on the show. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Grant, thank you.
Thank you, Mike.